Hey guys, so last night I saw Black Widow. Now, a lot of you who watch my channel will know that I'm not a massive Marvel fan. However, I did want to see the film because I'm a big fan of David Harbour. I love him in Stranger Things. I think he's a pretty good actor. He's quite funny. So I wanted to see him as Red Guardian. In the trailers, he looked kind of cool, kind of funny. Um, and yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of this film. I'll be honest. Although it did start out pretty promising, the opening sort of title sequence is quite cool. It's got like this weird, haunting Nirvana cover, which it smells like Teen Spirit, but it's done in this like kind of atmospheric, kind of cool, cool version with this sort of weird, like grimy VHS style footage of all the Black Widows getting captured when they're kids, which was kind of cool. So I thought this might be a bit different, and then the film starts and it's kind of just the same Marvel kind of stuff you've seen before, but done slightly worse. So the problem with it is the comedy. There's maybe I just forgotten, but there's a lot of like out of place comedy. Just one example off the top of my head is there might be mild spoilers in this, but anyway, one of the bits is Black Widow's sister. Her and Black Widow's sister get the Red Guardian out of prison because he's in prison for some reason. They don't really explain it too much, and he hasn't seen them in ages because he's like their dad basically. And she mentioned something about getting a hysterectomy. She can't have kids. Both of them have had hysterectomies and they can't have kids, and it's done in this really awkward way. Like it's supposed to be kind of funny, like, and because he's like weirded out, like because they're talking about their lady bits, and he's kind of like freaked out about it, and it's kind of like, well, it's sort of a serious subject matter, and it's sort of played for laughs, and it's just awkward. It's not funny. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that, like again the same character, Natasha, Black Widow's sister. I can't remember her name. Florence Pugh, the actress. She is going to get her brain cut open, and she's like, "This isn't a very cool way to die." And it's a serious scene and a serious moment that is undercut by really awkward, poor humor. Another thing that really bothers me is I haven't met many Russian people, but the ones I've met kind of fall in line with what you think of as Russian people, like what they're like as people. They're quite a serious people. They're very different, and none of the characters in the film seem like Russians. They seem there's if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but Russian people come across a certain way. They hold themselves a particular way. They've got certain views, and none of the characters act like Russians. There's a lot of nitpicky things I didn't like about the film, but I'll generalize a few things. So the action is so over the top, it makes Die Another Day, the James Bond film, look almost realistic in its depictions. That's the one with James Bond. I think he's like parasailing on a surfboard down a fucking tidal wave in like the Arctic or some shit. I can't even remember it. It's so over the top. Like at the time, it was like laughable how like over the top it was, even for a James Bond film. This like tops it. It's so silly. It's really boring. They make decisions, and you're like, what? Why? Like, what was the point of that? And it's not even like I'm not even like nitpicking in like a nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. It's just like just frustrating watching it. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's so much dumb shit in the film, and um, okay, spoiler alert, Taskmaster. You've seen him in the trailer, and I knew this was going to be the case, but I thought it was going to be there's like a black dude in the film for some reason. I don't know what his role in. He like is suddenly best friends with Black Widow, and like we've never heard of him before, and he's barely even in the film, and he's like a great actor. So I don't really know what the deal with him was, but I thought he was going to be Taskmaster. No, it turns out it's some random chick that Black Widow tried to kill early on, like in her life, and she's Taskmaster. And then when you find out that's this chick who's probably like 55 kgs, and she's wearing this suit, like you're like, oh okay, cool. Like she's completely non-threatening. You wonder how the fuck a 55 kg woman can be so strong, because it's not very realistic, and that's fine. I'm not I'm not all that realism, but it's just completely kills the character. She's so what like this. She doesn't have a personality. She's like brainwashed. It's so dumb. You could take that character out of the film and it wouldn't change anything. It's just there's so many dumb decisions in the film, and like the plot itself is really lame. It doesn't really tie into any of the other films, which is fine. Like the films don't really tie into each other that much. Like it's all very surface level. But this is particularly like throwaway. Like if you didn't see this, you're not missing anything. Like it's just oh man, it's just weird. Like there's just weird decisions. Like all the Black Widows are pretty shit. Like there's a scene when there's like 20 of them and they try to beat up Black Widow at the end, and like none of them like they can't kill her. And you're like, well, why wouldn't they kill her? There's 20 of them. Like they're all supposed to be best of the best, and yet they're just like they're sucking. There's another bit where you see in the trailer where they're in this like aircraft carrier thing, and it gets blown up, and they're flying through the air like to their death. They don't have parachutes on, and there's these soldiers that have no parachutes on, and they're shooting at them. It's like, why are you shooting at them? You're gonna die. Who gives a shit? Like, live. Like, what's going on? It's laughable. It's like roll your eyes. Like that they're trying so hard to make it cool. It's just like it's embarrassing. And like, okay, so back to David Harbour. He's like I said, I wanted to see the film for his character, see what he was like. He's literally just played for laughs, like, and it's not even that funny. Like, it's so dumb, it's funny. Like, he's basically this moron. He's like the butt of all the jokes. He's incompetent, which doesn't make sense because he's like Captain America. He's like the only Russian super soldier, and also like, why would you throw him in prison? Like, he's the Captain America of Russia. Like, you wouldn't just throw him in prison. Like, it's a waste of time. Like, you'd study him or something. Like, anyway, he's played for laughs. He's played it off as an idiot, which I'm not really surprised. It's just, oh man, it makes you wonder what the rest of the Marvel films are going to be like going forward. Because you look at this film, it's not particularly good. It's boring in places. The action is over the top to the point of stupidity. There's just real, like, it's not clever. There's no clever twists in it. They try to be a bit clever, but you're like, that's just the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, there's this dude in the film, and Black Widow can't attack him because he's giving off pheromones. So there's a bit where they're like, oh, well, you can't block your nose because the pheromones will still get to you. So you have to, like, sever the nerve from your smelling, like, where you smell up to your brain. So she like breaks her nose, and it's like, well, I don't think that fucking does anything. Like, that's just the same as blocking your nose. Like, what's going on there? And why doesn't she just stand back further from him and shoot him? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, but it thinks it's real clever. And then there's like a bit where they're wearing like face masks that like change their identity, but like their body types are completely different. So it's like, okay, people would notice it. Like, they're not changing their body. Like, that's just the dumbest shit. Like, oh man, it's just like a stupid film. And like Florence Pugh's character, she's like, so they're supposed to be like these what do you call them, femme fatale kind of characters, yet she's like not very, like, I feel like a femme fatale is supposed to be like, you know, into like really fashionable, like suave, like able to go into like situations and like seduce people and stuff. And in this, she's like real, like, there's like a joke where she's got like this vest and she's like never bought clothes before, and she's like loving all the pockets on it, and it's like, what is this? Like, this is just stupid shit. Like, yeah, it's just dumb, and like, it's so shit. I saw I haven't finished it, but that Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, that's actually a really good film. Like, I recommend seeing that over this. Like, that's actually, there's some dumb shit in that, but there's so much other good shit. Like, the action is so good in that film. Chris Pratt's great in it. Like, these great actors. There's like some really good moments in it. And it looks like it cost a lot more money than this film. And yeah, anyway, that's enough of my rant. Like, I've been going on too much. There's so much shit in this film that's dumb. I hate it. Don't go see it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment below. Tell me what you think. Am I an idiot? Am I on the money? And I'll see you guys in the next video.